huge active Russian volcano is risking killing millions of people with catastrophic eruption. There's over 140 volcanoes on the Kamchatka Peninsula on the west of the Aleutian Islands of Alaska. A major volcano that was previously considered extinct awoke 3 years ago, and it was extinct. That's why the geologists of Russia weren't even looking at it. But now it's active. It has refilled. That's just proof that extinct volcanoes can again refill with magma. So 3 years ago, it awoke, and experts warned that an eruption could cause cataclysmic destruction for millions. Scientists previously issued dire warnings about the Bolshaya Udina volcano. It's part of the complex of volcanoes on Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. It's a colossal 9,000 feet high, over 3,000 meters in the far east of Russia. And we're going to see, take a look at what we had a recent 4.6 magnitude earthquake right at the volcano yesterday. So it was considered extinct all the way up until 2019, when a groundbreaking study revealed that it had become active again and could violently erupt. Scientists warned that the eruption from the Udina could cause destruction, the likes of which have not been seen since Pompeii. In their study, the geophysicists found that the increased seismicity and magma intrusions, and we're going to see the seismicity in the map and the frequencies. Now, measured at the Bolshaya Udina volcano since late 2017 justify its reclassification from extinct to active. Professor Ivan Kulikov, the vice director of this Institute of Petroleum Geology and Geophysics, the study's lead researcher, said, when a volcano is silent for a long time, its first explosion can be catastrophic. The large amounts of ash is thrown into the air, spread far, and not only the surrounding settlement, but also large areas in the entire planet can suffer. Remember Pompeii, the awakening of Vesuvius was preceded by a lull for several thousand years. Then the eruption in Peru in 1600 led to the cooling of Europe and famine in Russia as well, all the way from Peru to Russia, famine all the way up north. Before this study, the Udina was never considered to be an active volcano, being one among a cluster of the other lava-spewing cliffs, some of which are permanently active. But Udina did not exhibit any seismic activity since the permanent monitoring of these volcanoes started in 1961 and was always considered extinct. Professor Kulikov said, the geological signature indicate there was no seismic activity there for thousands of years. Geologists cannot even estimate when Udina last erupted because it was a very long time ago. Then suddenly, in December 2017, some seismic activity started on Udina. Initially, it was very difficult for the researchers to confirm the earthquakes were taking place directly under Udina because the monitoring network was approximately 30 kilometers away. The seismic topography experts said this made it very hard to localize these earthquakes and especially hard to determine its depth. Then in the summer of 2018, there were several events of magnitude greater than 3. And finally, February this year, 2019, there was an earthquake of 4.2, which obviously was very strong for a volcano. Well, if that was strong, what we had yesterday was 4.6. He also compared a potential Udina eruption to the gigantic 1956 eruption of the Bezmiani volcano, which was also thought to be extinct until its very violent eruption 68 years ago. Now, along with its similar neighbor, the Malaya Udina, Bolshaya Udina is a stratovolcano, a steep-sided body that would have built up from explosive eruptions that deposited layers of lava, pumice, and ash. Stratovolcanoes, especially those located near the edges of the sinking tectonic plates, like Bolshaya Udina, can build up the violent eruptions thanks to their vicious, slow-flowing magma that traps gases and can build up enormous pressure. Geophysicist Ivan Kulikov said in 2019, villages around the volcanoes would be significantly impacted, of course, in the event of an eruption. And he pointed out there are not many people around. However, the impacts of an eruption could spread beyond Russia. Kulikov warned an eruption would affect the climate in completely different parts of the world. An explosive eruption threatens to cover huge areas with lava and volcanic ash, as well as filling up the atmosphere, he said. And these can cause long-lasting climate change impacts, such as the triggering of a small ice age or a nuclear winter. In a 2020 simulation of the latter, global harvest plummeted between 20% and 40% for at least a decade. Temperatures dropped dramatically as the climate shifted, triggering widespread drought, a worldwide famine, and the deaths of tens of millions of people. And this is by Anthony Ashkenaz on Express UK. Now let's go see volcano discovery and the maps of yesterday's earthquake there, 4.6. Here we are at the Udina volcano discovery, stratovolcano, Kamchatka. Last update, 13th of June 2019. That's when it had the earthquakes of 4.2 beginning of the world. Yesterday we had 4.6. The massif consists of two conical stratovolcanoes constructed along the west, northwest, east, southeast line at the south end of Klyuchevskaya volcanic group, southeast of Tolbachik volcano. And the Mayada Udina rises above the low saddle. And these are some pictures of them. This is the lava flow. Here it is again. Okay. And it's dormant. It says dormant 1 out of 5. That's the area of it. Let's go out a little bit. Okay, you can see this right there at the junction of the arc of the Aleutian volcanoes, which are thought to be said to be recently by geologists that it must be a supervolcano there. Let's go to our map to see what's happening. Oh, sorry. Got off. Okay, there we are. Okay, that's it right there. Okay, 4.6, and we have the details here. What happened? Has to wake up. Okay, sorry about that. This is it right here. And right out there's a river there. You can see it's right at the edge. That's the earthquake was right at the river. And let's go to our aerial. Okay, there's about 140 volcanoes there. And of course the volcanic arc of the Aleutian Islands. And we did have another earthquake there before that. Did they take it off? It was a big one here. No, not that one. It was another one there, bigger than that. Okay. That's not it. It's the one under it. Look at 5.3. Okay. I don't know if we have the frequency of that. Yes, we do. Okay. Let's see if it shook. Kamchatka. Let's put this up. And go to our aerial. And come out a bit and see. All of the Aleutian Islands have shaken from that, as you can see that. And the USGS stops it there, but that's not good. I mean, earthquakes, the nearby faults, nearby earthquakes can cause earthquakes nearby. And this is the area that we had the Udina volcano right there, as you can see. So this was about a day before this one. Okay, there we go. And this is it right here, Kamchatka, all the way down to Japan. The Kuril-Kamchatka arc extending about 2,100 kilometers from Hokkaido, Japan, along Kuril Islands, the Pacific coast of Kamchatka. All this is the same arc. It marks the region where the Pacific plate subducts into the mantle beneath the Okhotsk microplate, a proposed region subdivision of the larger North American plate. This subduction is responsible for the generation of the Kuril Island chain volcanoes along the entire arc and the deep Kamchatka Trench relative to a fixed North American plate. So all that is, okay, here it goes into the earthquakes. Kamchatka region frequently experiences larger than 7 magnitude earthquakes and great 8 magnitude earthquakes. In the 114 years since 1900, 133 large and 12 great earthquakes occurred along the arc, damaging tsunamis followed several of large interplate megathrust. It doesn't talk about the volcanoes here, though. Okay, in 2013, magnitude 8.3 event beneath the Sea of Oshkosh, currently the largest deep-focused earthquake on record. The earthquake occurred as a result of normal faulting. So that's great, but it doesn't talk about the volcanoes. Let's go in a little bit further. Okay. And there we go. This is our Udina volcano. And more here, more there. Okay, but they're all over the place, all these things. Okay. And that's the subduction zone going all the way down to Japan. More volcanoes here. And there's Japan, right, the North Island and the South Island, Japan. All of that is, okay. So this is the one that's turned active. Okay. There we go. That's the 5th of July, yesterday. So that's what they're warning about. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.